Admittedly, I am disappointed. Admittedly, episode 4 of Undead Murder Farce, I am disappointed. Now, it was still an excellent episode. I think they really, oh my gosh, this episode, they nailed everything. Like, no pun intended. They really did nail the feeling, the tension building up. My gosh, that later part, just before the big reveal, every character is kind of just tensing up. You could see the characters grabbing the chair. You could see, obviously, the maid is looking like, my gosh, I'm about to die. The daughter's like holding on her hand, which sort of made me think it's going to happen. Is it going to really happen? It's the daughter? The big twist. No, actually, it's not him. It's her. But no, sadly, it was exactly what I thought from the very beginning. And I really wonder if that is partly to do with they kind of messed up with the portrayal of this whole thing. I seen that somebody mentioned that Raul putting his hand inside of his pocket when they first showed Rindo was not in the original source material, which, again, that was technically the first tip-off point. Technically, that was what kind of triggered me to kind of overanalyze Raul as a character. And again, that was a lot to do with what he was talking to his father about, how he didn't like they were working with the humans and they had this peace treaty. So I just started fitting in the pieces based on that pre-consumption. Which again is bad for an actual investigator and something that Rindo did not do. Rindo actually did go through and check everything, but that was a tipping point, unfortunately, and that kind of sucks. I am a little bit let down. Again, I technically am happy they didn't go the route of the cackling little daughter and having her go, "You messed up everything. I've been controlling everybody with my dollhouse," which was honestly a really fun theory. But no, it was the obvious. It was the obvious in the end, which is unfortunate. It is interesting to kind of see how it unfolded, because yes, I didn't really think about the fact that they would have had to use this silver stake that would have burned him. And yes, how did that kind of line up? I just assumed that the boy, after going out with his father, which again, he did that in order to have an alibi, rushed back inside, killed the mother, and then rushed back out. But still, even if the actual conclusion of this was upsetting and kind of a letdown, the presentation of it was amazing. The 7 real core aspects of the murder itself that Rindo had put together, and revealing how it all kind of lines up with each one of the individual characters. Still, again, bringing each one of them into the picture and really kind of figuring out what actually happened here. Now, in the end, I still think Rindo, from the point of entering that room, knew who it was, but she still needs to lay out her logic to everybody so they all understand. Her just coming out and saying, "It's your son, we gotta kill him," that would have made everybody angry. Again, this is a room full of vampires, immortal vampires. Now, again, technically, Suguru can offset that. It's a room full of vampires. You gotta figure out, you gotta choose your words carefully here. And yes, again, like I said last time, there was so much emphasis put on the father and how he doesn't want to lose family again. He's been through this, and then he lost his wife. He doesn't want any more lost. He was so dead set on it having to be somebody outside because he doesn't want to even think about the fact that he could lose another family member. Despite the fact that one of those family members killed one of his family members. It's a sucky position to be in. I really do think they nailed the feelings of the father. This is a sucky situation. He's even standing out there as daylight's coming because he's so broken inside. He got answers, and the answers that he got costed him another family member. But yeah, putting aside all my crazy theories around Hugo and the other hunter and everything like that, it just kind of simply comes down to the son sort of creating an alibi and making it look like a human did it. And again, that played into my theories. My original theories was, because he's so upset about this peace treaty, because humans will never accept him, he didn't want to have this peace treaty. Now, the thread that I still had that I sort of answered for myself was, why would this boy want to kill his mother? That's a massive stretch. Like, with everything that comes to why somebody does something, it's easy to get the how done it, but the real question is, why done it? That's the big, massive question mark. What inspires you to do something so terrible? And this is something that we didn't really get an answer from before, but now it comes to light here. His father was following everything that his mother said. He claims that father did everything that mother asked. I'm different. They're weak. I'm strong. It was simply because this once human turned vampire was leading her husband into this idea of being peaceful with the humans, this coexistence. And he didn't want that. So yes, he was trying to trigger a fight between them and break this peace, but additionally, the mother was the reason why they would never break that peace. Father just keeps doing what she asks. We need a break from them. Oh wait, father's not going to listen to me because mother. Got to get rid of her. And it really does come down to just somebody that's so feral and so angry that he'd be willing to even end his own mother just to get what he craves so much. Hostile against the humans. To not just wait for them to come after them. We're just going to sit here and wait for them to come to try to kill us, and we're not going to do anything about it. And the humans aren't going to do anything about them coming after us. It makes sense, but at the same time, doesn't. That's always the case with killers. You can try to understand them, but at the same time, never really agree with them, because they always cross that line. But yeah, like I said, that build-up, that tension, it's coming. Every character is gripping something. She's going to say what we don't want to hear. And like I said, with that little grab that the daughter was doing, I'm like, please don't do that. Is that fear? Like, you didn't do it, did you? You wouldn't have killed mother. She didn't want to hear it. But yeah, the regenerative aspect of it, I wasn't really foreseeing. And I guess it makes sense that he would have hid his hand at that point, because maybe before then he didn't cut him off. I think it sort of implies that when Rendo first showed up, he had those burns and he was hiding his hand. But then right after that, he knew he had to cut his fingers off because those burn marks were there. So it's a nice little added element to it to add something that I wouldn't have thought about, but it technically makes sense. But yeah, he went crazy and pretty much shows that he's the killer. But I like that Suguru like, here, take the mistress. I'll handle this whole situation. This is the time where the headliner shows up and Suguru goes in there. I really did like the fight. The fight was super cool because there was multiple aspects of this, because one, this is where Shinichi Omata really starts to shine, having it not just be a fight scene, but just being very creative with it. Telling a story and having the characters fighting it out, while at the same time, yes, the studio doing a really good job of really portraying these cool fight scenes. It was very creative with how it kind of lays out. But yes, getting the full insights into Suguru. The fact that he was part of this group, a group that went out and killed all these yokai. So he was technically a part of the group that was doing the purging that affected everybody around him, which does kind of give credit to who he is. This is an immortal killer. This is somebody that kills the unkillable. But additionally shows why he is so powerful and why he is a good fighter. He has been killing for a long time. But yes, there was one little thing that they dropped in here. I got a huge kick out of it, like out of nowhere. Let's just drop this little information in here. The guy says, I'm strong. Yeah, I don't really think that's true. Dracula had a stronger bite than you. It was like, okay, we're just gonna drop this right here. Let's not talk about this, but we're just gonna put this right here. Don't think about too much. Yeah, that sort of implies, because again, 2 episodes ago, what did the son say? The son pointed out that Dracula was dead. They killed Dracula. Was it Suguru? Did Suguru kill Dracula? It was like a recent event, but you could say that he just fought Dracula. Not that he killed Dracula, but yes, it sort of implies that Suguru killed Dracula. Which makes me go, why do we have this mystery thing right here when we could have been talking about him fighting Dracula? That would have been cooler. This is not this type of story. I know it's not that type of story, but it's still interesting. I mean, they're obviously throwing a lot of mythological creatures and individuals and different names of different supernatural types of stories in here. I mean, we just kind of indicated Frankenstein in this one, Frankenstein's monster. We're throwing Lupin in here. I mean, we're getting everything in here. But like I said, it was a cool fight. It pretty much implies that he's dead. I mean, they didn't show the killing blow. I mean, it showed the foot come down, but they didn't come out and say the kid's dead. But they're pretty much saying the kid's dead. Insinuating that the father has pretty much lost before, and he lost a wife, and now he lost a son. Now, yes, they could have just thrown him in a cage and shipped him off somewhere, but the assumption here is he's dead. Which, again, is sort of surprising because this is sort of a massive blow to the father. Again, he doesn't want to lose family. And again, like I said earlier, they portray that really well in the idea that he's just standing out in the front of the house as the sun's coming up. And Rendo is sort of an aspect the father's looking like he's sort of broken and in the moment doesn't care what happens. And so I kind of like what Rendo says here. This idea of, yes, the sunlight's coming, but nighttime's coming too. You're going to have another day. Despite the fact that this is going to get out, it's going to ruin your reputation, you have other days in order to build yourself back up. Essentially, this isn't the end. You can rebuild from this, always walking forward. It was a nice little moment there. And yes, even though Suguru did have some good choice of words, this idea of the tragedy of this whole thing, he's experiencing tragedy again, but he had to drop a stupid joke at the end. I do like the idea of whatever happens twice will happen thrice. It's a cool concept, this idea of expecting that something bad's going to happen again. As long as you acknowledge that bad things will happen again, you'll expect it and won't catch you off guard. I do like the fact that one girl showed up again, which again is pretty much insinuating this girl is not normal. I mean, the whole idea here is that this mansion is way out here. I mean, when they were traveling there, Suguru and them were traveling there, they were hauling butt to get there quickly. And it's like, that's not like a quick shot to the town itself. So it makes me assume that she, again, is not normal. That she just kind of hauled butt out there. Or she was just staying the night out in the forest. I don't know, it could be. But yeah, they wrap things up with, I don't know if they're insinuating the next story beat here, but it's obviously this guy that they're looking for, and he's with Frankenstein's monster at least, and then 2 other individuals. Talk about Lupin still in something, so maybe their next story might be figuring out where Lupin is. So I guess possibly next arc could be Lupin. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to it. Like I said, overall, disappointed at the resolve of the story itself. At the same time, the portrayal of it was amazing, the directing on point as always, and love the fight scene and the casual drop of information about Dracula. And yeah, Suguru, like, the portrayal of Suguru in that fight was super good too. He's kind of just casually doing his usual routine. Again, this is a guy that was doing arena fighting for a long time, entertaining people, and so he's just entertaining people. He's like a circus act, really, in the end. But yeah, super good. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 4 of Undead Girl Murder Farce. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment, let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button to get my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list if it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you want to support the channel more, I have Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate everybody does, and y'all take care.